welcome to another ranking. Today I felt like ranking a film series I finally watched for my October marathon last year, and that's the Killer Tomato series of films. Now, I don't like to rank any film series that are ongoing, but it's Hollywood and they hardly ever leave any film series alone. There is a reboot in the works and it claims to be in production, but I'm not sure how true that is, especially with everything that has happened in the past year. But since I'm on the fence with that, I decided to go through with a ranking anyway. Also, I only just realized there is a Killer Tomato TV series and I'm 100% going to add that to my watch list for my Patreon series TV time. So if that's something you'd be interested in hearing me discuss, you can check it out on my Patreon to stay updated. But enough talk of TV series, it is now time for me to tell you how I rank these films from worst to best. In fourth place is Killer Tomatoes Eat France. Released in 1991, is directed by John DeBello and written by DeBello, Costa Dillon, and Stephen Peace. It is the fourth installment in the Killer Tomatoes series, and in it, after escaping from jail, Professor Gangrene plots to take over France and eventually the world by having his hapless assistant impersonate Louis XVII. I admit I was barely paying attention in this one, but that was because of how boring it was. It's undoubtedly my least favorite of the series. The tomatoes in this film have these absurd demonic faces and now they can speak English. I know these are meant to be silly, but this one felt like it got way too out of hand to the point it didn't even know what it was doing anymore, and it made it unenjoyable. It didn't have any of the humor of the first two films, not even the humor of the third, which was limited. But to its credit, the films are consistent with keeping the villain the same in every film, and we see the character FT featured in films 2 to 4, so I do appreciate the film's sense of continuity. Not a lot of franchises have that or even bother, so I give them huge props for that. In third place is Killer Tomatoes Strike Back, released in 1990. It is directed by John DeBello and written by DeBello, Costa Dillon, and Rick Rockwell. It is the third film in the Killer Tomatoes series, and in it, Professor Gangrene attempts to brainwash the world while a police assistant and a tomatologist team up to stop him. This one isn't terrible, but it is a marginal step down from the first two films. I didn't find this nearly as entertaining. It does parody some classic films, and I did enjoy that. Films like Psycho, The Godfather, and even the Friday the 13th reference was priceless. I mean, having this Jason-esque character being terrified of Killer Tomatoes and being defeated by them was hilarious, and I got a huge kick out of that. But I really didn't enjoy the film giving the tomatoes faces and teeth. They didn't do that in the first film, and that was part of the charm and humor, so including them in this film took away some of the humor and just made them look more absurd. Sadly, the lead characters weren't very interesting, but I love that this film sees the return of FT. He's cute, and having him included again was awesome. So while this film isn't terrible, I don't feel eager to revisit it unless I was doing a franchise marathon. In second place is Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, released in 1978 and directed by John DeBello and written by DeBello, Costa Dillon, and Stephen Peace. It is the first film in the Killer Tomatoes series and follows a group of scientists who band together to save the world from mutated killer tomatoes. There is plenty in this film that will prompt me to give it another watch in the future, and I think on a second viewing it might end up ranking higher, but for now I'm putting it in second place. I had no idea this film would include random musical numbers. I did not see that coming, but it was very catchy and entertaining. Going into this, I was expecting giant-sized tomatoes with razor-sharp teeth, which I did kind of end up getting in the later sequels. Instead, we get these small grocery store tomatoes rolling around killing everyone in ways I'm not entirely sure of, and it's absolutely hilarious. This film is so weird and bizarre, and I can see how it's a spoof on B-movies and then some, but it's incredibly well done and I really did enjoy it. It's goofy and absurd and very well executed, with everyone committing to their performances, which is something I love. And in first place is Return of the Killer Tomatoes. Released in 1988, it is directed by John DeBello and written by DeBello, Costa Dillon, and Stephen Peace. It is the second film in the Killer Tomatoes series and is set 10 years after the events of the first film. In it, crazy old Professor Gangrene has developed a way to make tomatoes look human for a second invasion. I love this sequel so much. I was engrossed in the entire film and rolling on the floor laughing for most of it. It's intelligent, whimsical, breaks the fourth wall, and the product placement was hilarious. It's films poking fun at films and the ones that are sellouts. George Clooney should have done more comedy-based films because he is hilarious in this. Also doesn't hurt that Anthony Starkey is in this, and he appeared in Charmed season 4, episode Music to My Ears. You know, not that I'm obsessed or anything. So that was the cherry on the cake for me. There's nothing more entertaining than a parody that goes in fully loaded, knowing exactly what it is and knowing how to say it loud and proud. So no matter how dumb it seems, it's dumb on purpose and with a purpose. So for me, it was a slam dunk. And there you have my ranking of the Killer Tomatoes films. And I guess, unfortunately, if they do end up going through with a reboot, God, I hate that word so much, then I'm gonna have to do an updated version of this video. I don't like the idea of that. I don't like doing identical videos, you know, and it's like, oh wow, I'm gonna do this video and then I'm gonna do the exact same video only to talk about one additional film. Like, I don't like that. That, for me personally, I don't personally like doing it. That's just weird. And I already know that that's something I'm going to have to do with other films that I have ranked. Like, it wasn't until, I think, the following year after I ranked, excuse me, after I ranked the Texas Chainsaw Massacre films, they announced they were doing another one, and I went, son of a bitch! I'm like, I just ranked you! God damn it! And I'm like, and also at the same time I'm going, please stop. Please no more. And then also I told myself last year I decided that this year I was going to rank the Wrong Turn films. So they went and made another one. And I was just like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. I hope they don't end up making another one. I'll have to go and check what their plans are for the franchise to determine whether or not I can actually rank the films now. Same with Children of the Corn. That's probably my most hated franchise, and yet because I want to rank them, I have to end up watching them every time a new film comes out, and a new film comes out like every freaking year. Like, those are the worst films ever made, and I don't understand how it's a franchise. I really don't. Like, what in the F? Actually, I'd call it a series, not a franchise. There is a distinct difference between the two, but yeah, Hollywood is making ranking hard. The only reason why I like to do rankings is it means that I get to give short, brief reviews on a group of films instead of doing individual videos for each film and trying to break them down. This way I can speak about all of them in one video, and that's why I do them. So that's why if there is something that's a franchise, especially if it's like a horror franchise or something where I didn't do YouTube in the past, so I couldn't do reviews of the films as they came out, then, you know, now I can kind of just talk about them all in ranking form, you know? Win-win, yada yada yada, whatever. Anyway, that is it for this video. If you have seen the Killer Tomato films, then please comment down below. Tell me how you would rank these films. If you haven't seen all of them, if maybe only seen one or two, then let me know what you thought of the ones you have seen. Have you seen the Killer Tomatoes TV series? If you have, let me know what your thoughts are or were on that one. That's going to be a tricky one to track down. Yay! Like I said with my Ginger Dead Man series, this is one of those films that, as ridiculous as they are, I would totally revisit them. Not so keen with the fourth one, but if I was going to watch them all, then yeah, I would obviously watch that one again. But the first two, 100% would revisit multiple times because they're that much fun. Third one, yeah, I think I'd rewatch it. I think I would probably get used to it, but I don't know how I could ever get used to the fourth one. That was just crap. But anyway, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you as always to my awesome patrons who continue to support me and motivate me to keep making stupid videos like this one. Yes, I'm blaming you guys. It's all your fault. I'm just kidding, joking. Anyway, as always, everybody, wherever you are, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, and I hope to see you in my next video. So until then, bye!